Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. How's everybody doing? Morning, Max, Will, Chris, Greasy. I am Wally. Good morning, Enrico. All right. Let's see what we can do this week. Now, we have to be careful because this week we do have the World Economic Forum meetings. So, we'll see how it goes. Good morning, AO, David, Tony. All right, let's hop into these charts. Hold on one second. Let me throw up a couple more things here. Or one more. Let me put my midnight opening price here. And let me check one more thing here on the 1 minute before I get into it. All right. Got a good idea of what I'm looking at. Hey, John, good morning. What I'm looking at, let's go into our little analysis here before we have the open here in a few minutes. All right, we had this big gap down, obviously. So I want to see what's going to happen there. This is the weekly chart because yesterday was Monday, but I didn't trade. So holiday, so today's kind of my Monday. But we opened and we just went straight down. So you know the makeup of a candle, right? You have a open, high, low, close or open, low, high, close. We opened and did not make a wick up yet. So could be interesting. We'll see. Typically, you're not going to have very rare, you're going to have a candle with no wick above it. Like if you look at all of the candles, you are, super rare. You're going to have a candle without a wick on either side. So we'll see if that means we opened and, if we're going to make a low and then make a high and a close. We shall see. The daily chart. Marked my previous day high and low. Of course, the big gap down. We did take out this swing low, so we'll see if we do continue down. I marked this swing low here just in case. We still have this volume imbalance down here from November that we never reached into. So that's kind of, we have been in this kind of sideways pattern going on here, but it is a bit rare to leave an imbalance like that and never come back to it for that long. So we'll see how that goes. The 4-hour chart. Didn't really have much here other than, that gap down. We have a gap, fair value gap up here. Not really concerned about that because it's, we got to get through this opening range or new week opening gap first. Now looking left where price is kind of halted. Yep, we do have these fair value gaps over here. So I'm not going to mark them because I have a mental note of that. And, man, my left eye is like watering really bad. I feels like I have like an eye thing going on. I hope not, but hope I don't get like eye infection or irritation. Anyways, back to the charts here. The 1 hour. So we did have this 1 hour fair value gap, but I removed it because I do have a 15-minute one there as well. And we have this one here, which we did come down, displace lower, and we did technically create an inversion, but we are kind of hovering around in it. So I want to leave it to see if all we wanted to do was just rebalance it and continue down or not. Don't think so, but we'll see. And then I have, let's jump down to the 15-minute chart. Have my London range marked out because I like to mark out my London range for the kill zone, basically, 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. All right. Zooming out, though, aside from the big new week opening gap, I don't have, and, up here, I'm not really concerned if looking at above this new week opening gap there until we get up in here and work our way in there. Until then, I'm not really too concerned with it. I'm looking at, basically this portion here. Because, yeah, I can look up here, but there's really no point if we're going to stay below that new week opening gap. So I won't focus on anything else outside of that for now. So for now, inside this, or below that, we have Asia high here from Sunday, and we also have the Asia high from last night. So they're not really relative equal highs, so I'm just looking at them as session liquidity because right here we had a high of 439. The market's open now, by the way. 439.75, and this was a high of 452. I was more so looking inside here at this buy side liquidity inside here, and we kind of ran that there and then dropped. So we may not go back up there. And actually, I'm thinking we might not. And what I was looking at was I wanted to see if we open and continue up into this 15-minute fair value gap, take the London high, and that might be all we need to do. We'll see. We'll watch. But we do have that big new week opening gap, so we could gravitate and pull up into there. On the short side, we have this 15-minute fair value gap, right? Kind of worked in there, pushed up through this 1 hour fair value gap. Now I'm going to get rid of that. No imbalances in here, no 15-minute imbalances. And we reached up, and I have some sell side liquidity here, which I couldn't find anything obvious on the 15-minute chart, so I had to rely on even lower time frames. So this 5-minute, when I look at it here, I have some smoothness in this area. So I'm looking at price to take that. I was looking at up here for some minor buy side liquidity. And I wanted to see it reach up into here and then potentially come back down is kind of what I'm anticipating for the morning. Let's see if we got an opening range gap. I know we're going to have one. Let's see what it looks like, though. We have the close there, and we have our open down here. So we have a fairly large opening range gap. 245, yeah, like 400 points. Which means not expecting it to close, but I would like to see if we reach the midpoint of it, which that's still pretty high. That's up at 460. So we'll see. And because it's so high, let's go ahead and add some lower quadrants, the lower 25% right there, because that could suffice if we do go lower. And that would be right here at almost the midpoint of that 15-minute fair value gap. All right, so got that all out of the way. And like I said, I'm going to anticipate. I'm more bearish, but I'm not ruling out a long because we could reach higher up into that new week opening gap. However, it very well could be towards the end of the week, Thursday, Friday type of deal. Because if we have the weekly profile, right, where we have on a candle an open and we immediately dropped, right? And if the week is going to be bearish, which I don't know, it might not be. It should push down, make a low, right? And then towards the latter half of the week, push up, push up, push up, and then, make your high, and then come down and close somewhere. So that's how I incorporate the weekly candle with it. But like I said, we have a lot of news going on this week, and we have that new week opening gap. And yesterday was a holiday, right? So yesterday was a holiday, which means it'll open, have that new week opening gap from Friday to Sunday, but you don't expect for it to push up into it yesterday on a holiday. So if we get through this 15-minute area and we don't sweep or anything, and we look like, now the 15-minute is looking like it wants to displace higher. So I'm not ruling out a run up here to where is it? Right here, 471-ish area. What is that? You know what? Hold on a second. Let me do this. Since I know the weekly open is at that new week opening gap, I'm going to get rid of my weekly open there. And put this back. There we go. So, right here, 471. Good morning, good morning. John, Shadow. Hey, Shadow. And see, the 15-minute chart this is why I love looking at it, because this shows you a lot. Like, we're pushing Like this looks like we could, if we get past this area, we're likely to get a 15-minute fair value gap, and we're going to pull up into that new week opening gap. So take out those Asian highs and all that, but we'll see. We hit the midpoint, or not the midpoint, that lower 25% of the opening range gap. So it's going to be a crucial area for me right here. That lower 25 right here. Oops. I can't. Forget it. I was going to try to type in there, but right here, if we reject here and come back down, create an inversion, then we're not going to go up. But we could use this to go up. For me, it's too early for me to go long right now. Especially because this area right here is crucial to me to see if we're going to continue or not. Right, literally right here. So if we can come out of this fair value gap and keep making our way up, then I would consider going long. But if this becomes an inversion, and we displace lower, then I'd be looking for my short. I think we're going to go long though, but we'll see. We shall see. Hey, Bad Cat Joe. What about everybody on the chat here on the stream? Are y'all more bullish or bearish overall? Or actually, so as y'all know, my trade, I can be bearish overall, but my trade can be bullish. Like, I could take a long, basically, is what I'm saying. Just because I'm bearish overall doesn't mean I cannot take a long, and vice versa. So just want to be patient today. Yeah, Max, I'm bearish overall on NQs, so that's what I like to do too. I like to, because I don't need my trade to be the same. Like if I'm bearish overall, I don't need to take a short. I am a little more cautious for the longs though. So like if I'm more bearish overall, I am more cautious on a long just because I don't want to get caught in a type of stop run or manipulation or anything like that. But I'm not how can I say it? I'm more bearish, but I'm still kind of neutral. If that makes any sense. Because when I look at the daily chart, we're still in this area, yeah, because we took this low and we are gapping down, but with that weekly profile that I was talking about, we could see it come back up, and we have that big new week opening gap that I still just don't love this whole area that we're in right now. I really don't. Yeah, well, anything could happen this week, that's for sure. Especially with all the World Economic Forum meetings going on all week. It's a bit. We have Fed funds rate next week as well, FOMC next Wednesday. So, and there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. Geopolitical news, economic news, lots going on. So keep your head on a swivel. And, you know, if you're the type of trader that looks for long runs, I would be, not that they won't happen, but I would be more, if you trail your runs with your stop, I'd be more likely to trail sooner because, I don't know, That's just kind of me, what I'm thinking here. All right, let's see. Looks like we're going to get this inversion here. Potentially. And you see how the 15-minute, we're trading through a 5-minute fair value gap as well, potentially. Because it looks like we could be rebalancing it, but it'll be another 4 minutes before it's technically an inversion. But we are going to get this inversion. Okay. So let's see if we can continue down with some displacement and a fair value gap or not. And that's why I marked this lower 25% of that opening range gap. Typically, I look at the midpoint of it, but we have a 400-point opening range gap. And to make it all the way up to the midpoint of it, doesn't have to happen, especially if there's, not a great reason. Like if you don't see a ton of liquidity up there or something, then, it may not make it. But we'll see. We saw some days last week where we just opened, maybe had a little run, and just kind of, looked ugly. So be careful for that as well. Now we're in that inversion. I'm not taking a trade here. I'm not using, even if we get this little fair value gap, I'm not going to trade off this one. I'm not going to enter on this. The reason is because if we look at the 5-minute chart, we have this 5-minute fair value gap right here. Fresh fair value gap that we reached into and rebalanced, and immediately, like, we didn't even hang around in here. We didn't stay under it or nothing. We just reached in, rebalanced, and pulled right up out of it. So I don't want to take a trade, a short, in between this. To me, that's too risky. I'd rather just wait. And it's only 9:42. So even if this comes down out of it, I'd rather show me NQ that you're going to come down out of this and look for another displacement below. And on the 5-minute there, you have an inversion as well. So you have this push down, this inversion right here. Inversion, displacement, fair value gap, market structure shift, all that good stuff. It may not come back lower. And this would be an order block in here. Bullish order block. So we'll see. I need to get out of this area. All right, y'all. Did I update my flyer? I don't think I updated my flyer. That 80% sell with the lifetime PA counts was extended, and it ends on the 22nd. Just FYI for everybody. Dang it. Here, let me, while I'm sitting here waiting for the market to get out of this, let me see if I can add my flyer. Yeah, I didn't add my flyer. Man, my eyes are like bothering me. I had to put some, because I wear contacts, I had to put some eye drops in, made for contacts, all that good stuff. Like, that rarely happens to me. Eye infections, but I know people with contacts can sometimes get more eye infections. Second. Good through the 22nd. Let's download. And I am watching, though, because we could displace up, and there will be my long. Need the market to show me. Show me, market, what you want to do. Apex sell. Okay. If y'all haven't seen, getting close to 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I don't know what, but I have to do something once I hit 10,000 subscribers. So thank you to everybody that has subscribed, that's joined, that's been on this journey with me. Y'all have seen how far I've come. I know it's helped a lot of other people get further in their journey as well. So hopefully. And do me a favor, thumbs up, like this video. I want to figure out something to do to give back. Most likely will involve some Apex evaluations. But other than that, I don't know. I got to think of something. Let's see. Trade evade. There we go. Got my flyer added on there. That should pop up when it gets around to it. Yeah, I don't know if y'all saw on my in my Discord that I will be streaming next week, as long as I don't have any technical difficulties setting it up. I'm gonna stream. It's gonna start streaming to YouTube, Facebook, X, and as well to my Discord. So it's gonna stream to multiple platforms, and yeah, see how it goes. If we stay above this 5-minute fair value gap here, then we'll get a 15-minute fair value gap in the next 12 minutes. Don't think that's going to happen, though. But we'll see. So, like, at this point, I really don't care about these anymore. Now, this would be the first presented fair value gap. Right here. Oops. Hit my mic. Morning, Benton. How's it going? I'm glad I switched to this this cable on my mic, because the USB cable I used to use, if I would have hit my mic like that before, then I would have lost all capability to talk to you guys. Cream cheese. Good morning. All right. Let's see if we stay in the lower half of this first presented fair value gap or not. It's a battle. It's a battle of imbalances right now. About to hit the 950 macro. I think I saw Trump supposed to speak one day too. At like 8:30 a.m. Yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow morning. So if you're a pre-market trader, watch out for that. And when we get on and start trading at 9:30, watch out to see if he's still talking. Y'all know you could go on and on and on. Did anybody trade yesterday? Y'all know I don't like to trade on bank holidays and half days. I won't do it. But I know some people do it. I saw some people on social media saying that they still just read the charts and look at the price action. Yeah, I signed up for Truth Social a little while back only for that reason. So I can follow one person, and that person would be Donald Trump. President Trump. That's a good idea to just have that open as well as your news outlet. That's your Trump indicator. I know I've talked about that many times, having a Trump indicator. All right, let's see what we have here. We're back above the first presented fair value gap. If we get this fair value gap right here, and show signs that we're going to trade up through this 15-minute fair value gap, which I do like that we are getting up there. And we're likely to get that 15-minute BISI as well. Then I may consider longing this. Because you see this buy side liquidity that I had marked here? We stayed above it, right? So this looks like it could be a run, and now we're displacing higher. And it's the 9:52 time here. Have a little bit of smoothness on the 5-minute chart at about 413, right up here under last week's low. So I will monitor this, and I will see if we're going to go higher. Good job, Chris. Holding on to his discipline. Good job. Love to see it. I'm going to throw a little buy side liquidity mark right up here just in case if I get a trade long that I have a target right here at about 412. Now you got to be careful. We don't want this to be a stop run and just displace lower. So you got to watch it here. But as we go into this 1-minute fair value gap, we'll see if we get a 15-second confirmation or not. If we get in there. Where I want to be careful, because I am still leaning, like, I don't love the way this is acting inside this 15-minute fair value gap. Like, I really would have preferred to see it, like, run up and then come down somewhere. So I'm probably going to hold off right now. Because what I'm looking at is how we made this high, we came back, made this high, low, higher low, higher low, high, low, higher high, and if we displace lower, we'll have a bearish breaker with what I call my golden inversion here. So I don't know that we're going to go up from here. I don't like, if looking at the 15-minute chart, the way it responded inside this 15-minute fair value gap. I really don't like that much. And I don't like how the 5-minute chart is looking at this moment. But let's see. Let's see. We do have this. $313. 30 points. Be roughly a 30. That's a pretty big stop. We got this closure here. I'm not loving this. I'm going to hold off. I'm going to hold off. And it may go, but what I'm going to do, because I don't like how price action is inside of this 15-minute fair value gap right now. If this holds here, I may wait, and I could be wrong, and I could miss a trade here. But I may wait for it to come up and give me another Bissy up here. And it may not even give me an entry, but yeah, see, there's no entry on the 15-second confirmation anyways. So yeah, that's what I mentioned on before the market opened. I marked the big 15-minute fair value gap here because that's also 1 hour SIBI, but I took off the 1 hour SIBI and just left the big 15-minute one because I know it overlaps. So, and see how we're back right to the midpoint of this first presented fair value gap, but I'm really not loving it long here. And I want to see if we do end up displacing down and taking this low, we would have a bearish breaker as well with a golden inversion. Not saying that's going to happen, but let's see. But I do like how it hit the midpoint of the first presented fair value gap right there perfectly. Just show some patience today. Let's just have some patience. All right, so it is pushing up out of there. Let's see if it does. So like I said, I mean, there's plenty of room to go up. So I don't have to feel like I'm missing out. So that's the thing. Don't feel like you're missing out. You're about to hit the 10 a.m. hour as well. You know, there's usually a little influx of volume at 10 a.m. where you get some movement there. Man, my eyes are burning. Oh, forgot to switch back. $10 a.m. I think I have it too cold in my office here. Supposed to get some cold weather this weekend. Cold, cold, cold. I'll actually be out of town. Oh, that reminds me. I won't be trading Friday, y'all. I won't be here Friday. Unfortunately, I will not be here Friday. So we have tomorrow and Thursday. Your food truck may be closed? Man. Why is that? Because yeah, ice and snow and stuff, yeah. No one, people, in Texas, we everything shuts down with a little ice and snow, so you probably wouldn't have any customers anyways. Although before, people do like to prepare and grab liquor and alcohol for that, being that you're set up in front of a liquor store, might have some pretty good days before. That's awesome, Chris. Look at that, y'all. Look, this is why we do what we do as well. And this is why I say the things I say. Trading is a tool, right? Like, yeah, it can retire some people. You can accumulate money and all that. But trading's a tool. In my opinion, everybody has different goals. But what people should do, what I recommend, this is not financial advice, but personally, if you take, because trading is active income, right? Like you make the money by you making the money. It's not passive. At least what we do. If you take the money that you make, use it towards something that's passive, and it doesn't have to be passive, just another revenue, another income source. You're creating multiple streams of income, and that's highly, 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 highly possible, right? You use trading as a secondary source of income. Use that income to create something either passive or another income that can work with or without you, like Chris did. He used profits from trading, started a food truck business, bought a food truck, has another source of income, some more revenue now outside of trading and outside of, his job. So, man, I mean, that's awesome. Like, that's success there, y'all. Like, that's goals. Like, do that. Like, that is amazing. So good. Like, hats off to you, Chris. That's amazing, man. All right, so we got the inversion. We are trading back below. Let me get rid of this so I can clear my chart. And we have this volume imbalance with a fair value gap right there. Not loving it. Inversion here. First presented fair value gap coming down. But we need it, for me to feel comfortable, we need to displace through these lows right here. Maybe even this one, but for sure this one here. I need displacement under here. So we can pull back up and touch this fair value gap, whatever. Maybe even hit this one. But I'm not looking for a trade yet until we displace here. That's where I'm looking for a trade to go short. Tapped at that fair value gap. I do like, and that's what, like, whenever I say golden fair value gap, I don't, like, I kind of coined that term, I think. But the concept is not, I didn't create. Like, it's, ICT talks about, if you have a bearish fair value gap, or a breaker, okay, let me start over. If you have a breaker, right, so market going up, pull back, make a higher high, and then a lower low, this is a breaker, okay? And then you have a BISI in here. A BISI, fair value gap. On this leg up, and it creates an inversion with the bearish breaker here. So now you have the bearish breaker and an inversion inside that last leg of that bearish breaker. That's what I refer to as the golden inversion, because ICT refers to that specific inversion as being the inversion that you want to take. Like, that's the trade. However, it's not the golden inversion until you actually get the bearish breaker. So this is not a bearish breaker until it takes this low, because you have this high, low, higher high, and it has to take this low for that to be. Now, this inversion may still hold here for now, and this fair value gap, but that's not one I'm considering trading because we haven't had the bearish breaker yet. So that's why I was saying I need displacement here, and that'd be where I'm looking to go short. Yeah, we have that 15-minute fair value gap. So I don't think it's anything like, I'm actually not looking. I'm not loving this, though, to think it's going to keep price above it right here. Because, for one, that's the 930 opening bar fair value gap. And like I've always said many times, my data shows this can get traded through 50% of the time if it comes back down, unless you have a strong enough reason for it to keep going up. And at this moment, I really, really don't. I mean, yes, that new week opening gap is a very strong reason, but on a Tuesday, maybe not. So if we do trade back down into here and everything is looking good, I have more reason that this will get traded through than not. And actually, this low is the high of that 15-minute. This low right here is the high of that 15-minute fair value gap. So I'll know pretty soon. Right here, this low. So I'll know pretty soon. If we do displace here, I'll know that 15-minute fair value gap is getting rebalanced. Because it's not going to come down here and hit this and go up. It could, but it's not going to displace. Like, there will be no displacement if that happens, which means no trade. If it just kind of makes its way down here, no displacement, and hits that, and then reverses, start heading up, then we're just going to go up. So that is a key area for me right now. Does it displace through 267 or not? See how it's trying, but it's not? It tried and immediately rebalancing. See, now it's in that 15-minute fair value gap, but it's not displacing. So no trade. No trade. Like, the setup, like, yeah, you could have shorted here, and that's fine. But, you know, like I said, I wasn't ready to short yet. Now, we do have this 15, or not 15, this. We do have this one, but we don't have displacement, and we're in this 15-minute fair value gap now. So I'm not fully trusting this. But I do like that we are underneath the first presented fair value gap. So if I had to guess, we may still keep going down. but I need a higher probability entry. That's still also inside that 5-minute busy from earlier, right here. Right there. That's why I needed displacement. Anybody taking anything yet? I gotta turn off this AC. Yes, I said AC, and it's cold. But that's because my little box office here with my electronics and stuff gets warm. It's very well insulated, even if it's 30 degrees outside. Man, when I built this office, I insulated the crap out of it. There's not even a crack. Like there's zero crack in these walls. Even my door. Like I don't know if you can see my door. Right there is a seal. So it has a seal. Like when the door closes, it seals up perfectly all the way around the door. And then I have this thing on the bottom of the door as well that slides with it. Like it's perfectly sealed in here. The only thing that it's not soundproof. But it's definitely insulated like crazily. Yeah, cream cheese. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just waiting to see. Like it's still pretty early for me. So it's still doing pretty much everything I'm anticipating, and it's the market is pretty like it's not doing anything weird. It's just not doing much, but it's not doing anything that it shouldn't be right now. So I'm just anticipating and waiting and seeing if we're gonna get displaced below this area. If not, are we gonna use that 15-minute BISI there and give a market structure shift displacement up through this area? If neither one of those happen, that's when I'm not taking a trade. Or if they don't happen before my time here. Yeah, I can still hear her calling for me. So we are still hovering underneath the first presented fair value gap. So we'll see. We're bouncing that, staying between that and that 15-minute BISI. So yeah, kind of boring day in the market so far, but it's still there's still potential. And that's also why I like one shot, one kill. I hit my profit. I'm done for the day because all I need is one shot, one trade. Like I'm not looking for 10 trades. I don't need a bunch of trades. So now one trade, it could come at 9:45, 10:15, 10:30. You know, just be patient. Be patient. These last bundles of PA accounts are doing good. The first bundle I got towards the end of last year, they're about even close to they're close to back to the starting point because I had that little run of losing, but thankfully these new, I think it's like what, 8. Let's see, how many is that? I keep forgetting. Oh, so what I'm gonna do too when I set up, it's probably gonna be over the weekend when I have time. Set up my stream to all the other channels, the Facebook and everywhere else. I'm gonna restructure this layout, this overlay, and I'm gonna change my settings up too because I don't know if y'all could tell. I can tell, and it drives me crazy. But my chart is like a square, so the dimensions are not great, and it's kind of squished a little bit, and it drives me crazy. But that's kind of what I had to do to have all the other stuff on there. What I'm saying is I'm going to redo the overlay, make it better, make it look better. And I say all that because I want to include my dashboard, my PA dashboard. This one here. Before I move it, this one here. And I still need to make that video for this copier, affordable indicators copier, because this thing's amazing. I love it. Yeah. So a bunch of those accounts there are looking pretty good. Looking good. 2 of them are 300Ks because I accidentally had some 300K evals that I tried to pass thinking they were 150Ks. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, Chris, yeah, I just saw your message there. No, that's supposed to be on orders. Remember, we talked about that one before. Sorry, there's a little sidetrack there. Here we go. Yeah, I talked to him. Remember, we had this conversation, and he told me to leave it on orders. To always have it on orders. So what you're saying on executions, it doesn't place an order, it just like fills it or what? But I remember talking to him, and I've always had it on orders. Because he specifically told me to put it on orders. Because I remember you and I talked about this too. Whenever you were having your problems, and I asked you if you had it on orders, because I know for what he said is to always keep it on orders, or you'll have issues. I don't know. I'm leaving mine as is because I've never had an issue, and he told me to keep it on orders. All right, let's see this one. Oops. See if we get something here. And I'm liking this one more now because we dipped into that BISI, 15-minute BISI, and no displacement and shot up. Had a market structure shift here. Fair value gap. And let's see if what we do here. All right, in that fair value gap here. Let's see if we get anything, if we're ready to go or not. I could use this as change in state delivery here. But since this is right at that fair value gap, I want to wait till it gets above this one. Might get something here. Let's see. All right, I'm going long. Stop at this low. I'm going to target this buy side liquidity up here. 355, yeah. This could be a nice little order block, bullish order block, if we can displace up out of this. I do have almost my max size stop here, so if we can take these highs, I may look to tighten up or go to break even pretty little bit sooner than later. All my accounts, yep, I got filled. If we keep hesitating around here, then I may do it earlier. We may be getting another 5-minute BISI as well. If we could stay above this, if we could stay above my stop, basically. So what? But if we fail to displace and stay around here, then I'll look to get out, because we should displace up if we're going to keep going up. And if we keep failing to displace up and take these highs, then I will look to manage my stop or my trade here. And at this point, I'm going to move my stop up to the fair value gap here, just because we're struggling to displace. I don't want to see it come back into this fair value gap. And I had a pretty big stop. Now I only have a 20-point stop, so feel a little more manageable since we are staying up here. And we did dip into this order. Well, it's not order block yet. Potential order block. So if we do come back down lower, I just want out of it. And it could come back down into this fair value gap and eventually go back up. But with today's price action, I don't really want to be a part of that. I would just take my 20-point loss there if that happens. But for the moment, it looks like we're going to continue up. And so this next candle on the 15-minute chart that we're about to open at, I don't want to see it come down as it shot down. I want to see it stay above this midpoint of this 15-minute fair value gap I have here. If we can get up into this midnight opening price, high of this fair value gap, somewhere in this area, that's when I'll look to go to break even. Try to give it a little bit of room. However, if it just keeps struggling, that won't be good. But I'll sit. I got a 20-point stop, and I'll sit and let it work. It's high resistance for sure, though. I want to give it the room to take these highs out, but it is really struggling. There we go. All right, I'm going to break even. Just because I don't love it. I think it goes, but it's high resistance, so that's why I'm at break even. Just in case. And look at that. Took me out. So I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. Oh crap. Hold on. Make sure I'm flat. Okay, yeah, I'm flat. It's likely to go, but man, high resistance. I'm not. I don't love high resistance. Make sure I'm all flat. Yeah, I am all flat. Good to go. And you can't feel. Yeah, see, you can't. You got to be okay. If you trade this way, you got to be okay with getting knocked out, especially when you're seeing high resistance. Now, I still have room to go, like, if I got another entry, but it's just unfortunate. I got knocked out, but I don't care because I didn't. This high resistance and being inside this 15-minute Sibby, anything can happen. Still inside that 1 hour Sibby, anything can happen. Even though I believe it's going to go up, if it does this and just doesn't displace and has high resistance, you're going to save yourself from losses doing that. Oh, you took the same thing, Chris? Took the same trade? Yeah, we'll see. But see, look, it's still no displacement. Just kind of working its way up. I don't like this type of trade, so I don't care that I got knocked out. I really don't. Like, yeah, I would rather be in the trade still, obviously, and going up, but when it's like this, I don't mind. See, like, it continues to look at the way the candles paint, you know. I do like that it stayed in this upper half of this potential order block, but it never displaced. No fair value gaps. Even here with this bar. Shot up, immediate rebalance. So it'll probably continue. It'll continue its way up, but those are the trades I don't like being a part of. Especially with the way the entire morning has gone. Got to be a little more cautious. I liked it, but... And then y'all see with my original entry, I had my max risk that I'll do for the day is 40 points. My initial entry was like 35 plus points stop needed. And then I moved it to 20 points, which I felt better about. But even though, you know, you feel better, but with this busy here and first percent fair value gap and no displacement up, at any point, it could come back down into this and, you know, work its way and then continue up. Like, that can happen. So that's why I managed it that way, because I tightened my stop here with 20 points. I don't want to see it come back down, but you have to know it can. Like, the price, like the market is capable of doing this without that displacement up. It is capable of coming down here, back into here, working its way down, back, and then, you know, going up. So especially, we're looking like we might get a 15-minute, well, we still have 8.5 minutes, but we might get another 15-minute BISI here, which the high of it would be right here at 346. So that means right here at 346, which is almost my entry, would be about this area, would be the high of that 15-minute BISI. So if it stays in this area, then it come back down into that 15-minute BISI as well. and work its way here and then continue up. So I just don't like being a part of that. I don't like being part of this price action. So that's my day, y'all. That is my day. I made a little bit of money. A little bit. Hey, I got the... yeah, my account's all made over $50, so that qualifies as a trading day for Apex. So, all good, all good. Yeah. We'll see what the rest tomorrow and Thursday brings, but that's a wrap for me, y'all. I'm done. Not looking to take another trade. Done for the day, and we'll see. We'll see. See how the rest of the week goes. So, like I said, all I need is one shot, one kill, take that one trade, and sometimes it wins, sometimes it loses, sometimes it breaks even. See, here's that pullback now I was talking about. I'm done. All right, y'all, so that's going to be my time here today, and I hope everybody has a good rest of your day. If you're going to keep trading today, have a lot of patience, especially this week and even going into next week. Have a lot of patience. Be careful. And as always, trade well, everybody. Take care. See y'all tomorrow.